Hello, my dear students. Today once again I am here, Lalit Kumar P. Bhaiya, Associate Professor, Electronics and Engineering, Telecommunication Engineering Department, Bharati College of Engineering and Technology, Durg. Dear students, you are already aware with digital signal processing, and here we have already gone near about 5 to 6 videos on linear time invariant systems, that is LTI system. Today we will go for the analysis of these discrete time systems using the different inputs like the standard test signals, unit sample sequence, unit impulse sequence, unit ramp sequence, unit parabolic sequence, etc. So analysis of this linear time invariant system we will go today. Before this we have already seen the properties of the LTI system, different connections of the LTI system like cascade connection, parallel connection, etc. and their analysis that we have already seen. Now in the same fashion, similar fashion, we will go for the analysis of the discrete time system with different inputs. So let us see this analysis. So dear students, here you can see here this analysis of discrete time linear invariant system. In this slide you can observe case 1 is given for non-recursive systems, and you are already aware what is the recursive and non-recursive system. Recursive systems are the feedback systems where we use the feedback systems, and non-recursive are those where we don't use the feedback systems. And in digital signal processing, these two are the important terms used with feedback and non-feedback, that is recursive and non-recursive system. While in all other cases, like in control system, we use feedback systems. Similarly, here we use the recursive and non-recursive systems. Non-recursive means without feedback. So here for unit impulse input, output is given by y of n is equal to h of n. Impulse input is given by the del of n, and its response is y of n. So this is the response for the impulse input, y of n is equal to h of n. Similarly, for non-recursive systems, you can have this h of n is the response of the impulse function, that is equal to summation k is equal to minus L to m. This limit may be changed. The m number of samples are there. You can start from, let us say, any of the samples, that is L here written, or you can also start from the 0, no problem. Bk into del of n minus k. Already you know del of n minus k is the delayed impulse signal by k samples, and Bk are the coefficients of this signal. Then expanding the above, this equation can be expanded. You can see here this expanded equation is given by h of n is equal to b of minus l starting from minus l, del of n plus a starting from minus l to m. So this is del of n plus n plus this is b of minus 1, del of n plus 1, b naught, del of 0 plus b1, del of n minus 1. These are the advanced delayed samples. Advanced impulse samples, and these are the delayed samples. Delayed impulse function del of n minus 1 up to the del of n minus m. This is m, and last is the m here. So you can write del of n minus m. That means this is the delayed impulse function and delayed by m samples. Here impulse response for the mth sample is given by h of n is equal to bm dash 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 h of 0. This is the coefficient b naught. H of 1 has the coefficient b1. From this you can find out, and h of minus 1 is b of minus 1, h of minus n is b of minus n. These are the coefficient. Impulse response, then you can write the sequence of the impulse response or impulse response in terms of the sequence. H of n is equal to b of minus n up to b of minus 1, then b0, b1 up to the b of m for m number of samples. And length, always this length we have already seen. To calculate the length in the convolution, that is L plus m minus 1 is the total number of samples in the output of the convolution. Similarly, for FIR filter, this length is given as m plus L plus m plus L plus 1, where m is the number of the samples in the first sequence, L is the number of the samples in the second sequence, plus 1. This is we have already seen in case of the FIR filter. Then case 2, this is for we have seen in non-recursive system. Now this is recursive system with the feedbacks. This is particularly in case of the IIR filters. In last section, last slide, we have seen the non-recursive filters means the FIR. FIR does not have the zeros in the system, poles in the system, only zeros are there, while in case of the IIR we have both zeros as well as the poles. Therefore this is a feedback system and hence it is called as a recursive system. Procedure for finding the impulse response given recursive difference equation. Then this find the homogeneous solution. Before going to this, in last video we have seen the solution of the difference equation, that is homogeneous solution as well as the particular solution. And by getting these two solutions, homogeneous and particular solution, we have also determined the total solution. Similarly, in recursive system, we have homogeneous solution. This is given by YH of n. This is homogeneous solution. Already we have discussed C1 lambda 1 to the power n, C2 into lambda 2 to the power n, and so on up to the nth sample. And x of n is equal to del of n is called as the impulse. So this is the impulse input, and we have to by putting or by giving this impulse input, we have to compute these coefficients C1, C2, Cn. These coefficients must be calculated. So linear systems are with the superposition. Already we have this. Whatever is going to discuss now, already we have seen in the classes as well as in the previous videos. But even then, this is the analysis. This comes again and again. Here again, we utilize the superposition theorem. Superposition theorem is always used in the linear systems for the linear combination of the input and to get the linear combination of the output. So this is x of n is the input. This is the discrete time system, and this is the y of n, which is the output. So this system obeys the superposition theorem if number of inputs are there, more than one input is there. And in superposition there are two principles. One is the scaling principle and another is the additive principle. So scaling and additive, these are the two important things in superposition. Also, if input x1 of n, its output is y of n, and x2 of n, its output is y2 of n, and so on. Given a linear combination of the inputs, x of n is equal to, this is alpha into x1 of n, alpha is the scalar, this beta is the scalar, beta into x2 of n. In place of alpha beta, you can use any substitute variable. Let us say a, b, you can use, no problem. So y of n is the linear combination of the output. Y of n is equal to alpha into y1 of n plus beta into y2 of n. So this is the linear combination of the input. Here you can see the example accumulator which uses y of n, which solves the y of n is equal to summation this x of n, and this accumulator operates on the current sample. It does not require any memory, but where the memory is required, we need a certain extra registers of the computer. So x of n is equal to alpha into x1 of n plus beta into x2 of n. This is the linear combination, and you can have this response y of n is equal to summation L is equal to minus infinity to n alpha into x1 of L plus beta into x2 of L. Here you have to replace this n by L. This L is replaced here, and you can have this separate linear combination. This is the first summation, this is the second summation, and take out this scalar common. This scalar is taken common, you will get this is the y1 and this is y2. This is alpha into y1 of n plus beta into y2 of n. And now you can observe this output. This output is also a linear combination, and hence this is the example of the linearity. Two different inputs we have used. We have taken the linear combination of the inputs, and we find here the linear combination of the output. So this is the analysis for the linearity. Similarly here, the TAGEF energy operator has the response given by y of n is equal to x square of n minus x of n minus 1 into x of n plus 1 here. And this x of n is equal to again linear combination alpha into x1 of n plus beta into x of n. This is the response and this is the input. This is the total linear input. Now you have to put this linear in this response and solve this equation. Again you find here, you will get this equation. This alpha x1 of n plus beta x2 of n whole square minus alpha x1 of n minus 1 plus beta x2 of n minus 1 into alpha x1 of n. According to this equation, you have to put in place of the x of n, you have to put this complete input. That is linear combination of the input, and from this response you can expand this equation and find whether you will get this y1 of n or y2 of n linear combination of these two or not. So you can see this equation. You can say, let us say y1 of n is equal to this x1 square of n minus x1 of n minus 1 into this x1 of n plus 1, and this type of equation we are not getting here, and therefore this is not equal to alpha y1 of n plus beta y2 of n. Hence this system is said to be a non-linear system. Offset accumulator, this is one of the example here. The constant is taken as like a integration constant. Similarly, this constant is taken plus we add this accumulator value, that is summation L is equal to minus infinity to n x of L, and if we put the in place of this x1 of L, we put the input linear combination. In place of this x1 of L, we put here alpha into x1 of L plus beta into x2 of L. So again you can see this is not a linear combination of the two outputs. Hence this system is also equal to non-linear, because we require here 0. If we make this C is equal to 0, then it becomes a linear. But here C is not 0, this is constant, and hence this becomes a non-linear system. So this non-linearity is also important. Here is the example of time shift of input. Time shift means let us say x of n, then we can have x of n minus 1 or x of n plus 1 or x of n minus 5 or x of n plus 5. This is called as a time shifting. Similarly, here time shifting is given by x1 of n minus n0. This means this input is shifted right by samples of n0, by samples of n0. N0 number of samples may be there, so it is shifted towards the right, that is delayed, and if plus is there, that means shifted towards the left, that is advanced. So y of n is equal to y1 of n minus n0. So this is called as a time shifting. So time shifting property has the principle whatever is the time change we occur at the input, the output must have the same time change. Then it is called as a time invariant. And if there is a certain change in time and different time changes at the output, then it is called as a time variant. So here this is a time invariant system is there, because we have x of n minus n0, then output will be n minus n0. That is, process does not depend on absolute value of n. This is for the time variancy equation. Upsampler. Dear friends, again I am using the word again here that we have already seen, but of course that we have already studied the upsampler and downsampler. This is called as a decimation and interpolation. In decimation, in multi-rate digital signal processing, we have already seen about the downsampling, that is decimation, and upsampling is called as a interpolation. What is downsampling? That is decimation. What is interpolation? That we have already seen. So here upsampler, that is the interpolation, is given by x of n. This arrow indicates the upsampling with the samples n, and this is y of n. So this y of n is equal to x of n by l, where n is equal to 0 plus minus l plus minus 2l and so on, and 0 otherwise. This equation is for the upsampling. And then y1 of n can be, for n is equal to r into l, you can put this equation x1 of n by l delayed by n0 sample, x1 of n minus n0, then y of n is x of n by l, x of n by l minus n0. So it is a non-shift invariant. Non-shift invariant means it is a time variant system. This is not according to the input side, and hence this is called as a not shift invariant system. This is for the upsampler. Upsampler system we have already seen. Similarly, you can go for the downsamplers also. This is same for the upsampler, which is shown by here x of n minus n0, x into x1 of n minus n0. So this indicates the upsampling here. No shift invariant, not shift invariant, parameters depends on this particular parameter. Systems which are both linear and shift invariant are easily manipulated mathematically. Two properties are there, that is the property of the linearity and property of the time invariancy. These two properties can be easily manipulated if you take the linear time invariant system, that is the LTI system. This is still a wide and useful class of systems if discrete index corresponds to time, called linear time invariant. Index means time axis. Time axis is considered, then it is called as a linear time invariant, which uses the two properties. If output depends only on past and current inputs, that is not future inputs, the system is called the causal system. There are two types of these signals. Either it is a causal signal, or in case of the system you can define the causality. And causality you are already known. Causality means the output of a particular system depends on the present input as well as the past input. There should not be a future inputs or future response. So this is called as a causal system. And LTI system, for the analysis we must know the causality also. Formerly, if x1 of n is y1 of n and x2 of n is y2 of n, then causal is x1 of n is equal to x2 of n and y1 of n is equal to y2 of n. It should not be dependent on any other future outputs or future inputs. Moving average, this is the sum and this is the average value m, for the m minus 1. Since it is starts from k is equal to 0, the m minus 1. If k is equal to 1, then we will use up to m. But this is called as the average value. So we can take 1 upon m, all the addition and divided by the m. This will give you the average. So this is called as a moving average. Y of n depends on x of n minus k, where k is greater than or equal to 0. Then it is called as a causal. Central moving average can also be calculated by this formula. looks forward in time, this is called as non-causal, can make causal by delay. Delaying system is can be used for the to see the causality. This is the impulse function, definition of the impulse function, and this is the physical representation of the impulse function. This is unit sample sequence called as a unit sample sequence. Given system x of n, discrete time system, output is y of n. If x of n is equal to del of n, then y of n is equal to h of n. H of n is called as the impulse response. This is many times we have seen about this impulse response. Large scale integration system completely specified by h of n. That is impulse response h of n. Simple system is shown here. This type of structure is called as a filter structure, and this type of structures are used in digital filters like FIR filter and IIR filter. This is the delay unit, delay by one sample, delay by one sample, and this is a scalar alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, and this is y of n. So this is the alpha 1 into x of n, y of n is equal to alpha 1 into x of n plus alpha 2 into x of n minus 1 plus alpha 3 into x of n minus 2. This is z inverse, this is z inverse. The output is here x of n minus 2 and multiplied by alpha 3. So alpha 3 into x of n minus 2. So y of n is equal to alpha n into x of n plus alpha 2 into x of n minus 1 plus alpha 3 into x of n minus 2. So this is the response, and x of n is equal to del of n is the impulse, while h of n is the impulse response. So this type of impulse response can be obtained. And lastly, we will go through this cascade connection. H1 of n is cascaded with the H2 of n. Then we will take the convolution of these two, H1 of n star H2 of n. This indicates the convolution, and this convolution is very important. So dear students, today this is sufficient for this digital signal processing for the analysis of the discrete time LTI system. Next time we will go for this analysis of the system with respect to the connections of the system, different connections that we will see later on. And I am very thankful to you. You have heard this carefully and listening particularly, and I hope you will go through the books for the different numericals also. And if you have any difficulty, you can ask me on any platform. Thank you very much.